Well, there you have it. Denmark were able to pick up the first one. It looked dominant. Dust 2, unfortunately, not going the way Singapore would have wanted it to. But getting in now, map 2, do you reckon there's any potential, or is this just going to be Denmark on their home turf, closing it out 2-0?
Yeah, I feel like this is Denmark. Well, it's their map choice. They know what they're doing. If they were able to win so dominantly and defiantly on the enemy's map choice, then there shouldn't be too much trouble going on over on their own. So I don't see too much issue with Denmark closing this one out. This should be pretty easy, Jack. Unless Singapore come back into it and show us something different. We need to see a pretty big change going on and not allow Denmark to have so much territory, so much ability to move around and do as they please. Singapore need to get in their face, because every time they did, we saw something incredible.
Well, see, this is the thing, you know, when they actually had that extra bit of map control, they were able to close it down a lot more, whereas Denmark were always dominant. They always had that lot more structure in terms of the plays they were going for. It was a whole lot better, and it's just odd, because Singapore, they do have those odd moments of confidence when they'll try and overextend a little bit more, bring the fight to them, and usually do quite well off the back of it, because Denmark really aren't used to it as well. They're so comfortable in the fact they feel like they force Singapore into playing inside of a box and just always just playing into that condition slot they want them to, that when they do just go wild with it and throw in, you know, a spanner into the works, Denmark don't know how to deal with it.
Yeah, absolutely. But, Jackie, we are getting right into this game, guys, so I hope you've all got a beer and a hot dog or, you know, whatever refreshment it is that you choose. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've got Troy filling in now for Singapore because, I don't know, they decided that was a good idea. Is this live? Are we playing with Troy?
No, I'd assume not, because you also got Chet on Denmark, and Chet's not a very Danish name.
Chet is definitely not Danish, and Tommy's already killed Chet. Chet's down and out of this game. Chet's gone, Jack. Chet's gone.
So I assume this will be relived and we into action. Obviously, you never know, man. Maybe that's just the way these things go. Cadian, he didn't perform too well, so they've ordered in Chet.
Yeah, I mean, Troy's done pretty well so far, but Chet seems to have given up his life in vain. Who are they replacing is the question. Glaive is being replaced over on Denmark, and it seems like, no, Tommy's there, Splashki's there, Moxki's there, Benkai's there, and that means we are missing
there it is, Deja Vu.
Of course, that's why I didn't remember, because I didn't have Deja Vu, so I didn't remember who it was.
Yes, that is true. Nice. Nicely done. So I assume the relive will be coming in, and will be kind of the actual game, of course. Singapore versus Denmark.
They're killing each other, Jackie. This is... Oh, sorry.
There you go, mate. Map 2. Mirage is going to be the home turf. Denmark, they looked dominant before. Can they do it again, or is Singapore going to be able to have a little bit of a resurgence?
Yeah, definitely. They need to come alive, Jackie. They need to, at some point, they need to hear the crowd. The crowd loves Singapore. They just can't hear them right now because they're obviously not loud enough. So as soon as Singapore do something well, I hope we really do get to hear them. But Denmark, they don't even need anything. They just need frags on frags on frags on frags, and that's exactly what they're getting for themselves right now. The smokes will fly over onto that A bomb site. It looks like Denmark just want to take the control. They want to take the pace of this game and just rub it all over Singapore and just enjoy themselves while they win. But Benkai getting up close and personal, unable to get the first frag. That should have been a kill in his hands straight off the mark as Valdi just spams through. Still gets nothing, but finally 2 kill come through. And Cadian trying to trade it out gets 1, but so far nothing else is coming. Benkai still fragging everywhere. Finally gets put down by Glaive, but in a 2 versus 3. Already in a great position. It all comes down to Glaive. 1 versus 3, but he can't make it happen. Splashkey takes him down, and once again, Singapore take themselves a pistol round.
Some very unorthodox frags there coming out from Benkai. Interesting to say the least, but they did the hard part. You pick up that pistol round, you now have the advantage. Economy is booming in their favor, so you can get out these UMPs as well that can allow you to rack up so much cash. 3 of them are going to be in play, heavy utility as well. Massive investment into this round from Singapore, so they really can't allow this one to go south. And Denmark are usually pretty good at coming in and really bouncing back swiftly, especially when they have that scout in play. This time around, Glaive is going to be the one wielding it, not Cadian. Aggression towards mid is key as they fire out a trio, absolutely terrifying as they try and gain that map control.
Absolutely, this is going to get really tough. 1 round on the board and Singapore just need to hold on, but of course with that force buy there was no plant, so in some ways Singapore may have just wanted to let them plant and get themselves at least a free round coming up, because if Denmark win this round, I mean obviously it's no strat to let them plant, that's definitely not what I'm saying, but hey, there's a time and a place. Glaive just hopping around with that scout in hand, of course. We're seeing Denmark just go as aggressive as they possibly can, take as much map control as is available. But the bomb just outside of A main, just waiting to be collected. Glaive holding on fast. Splashkey is going to find him and trying to put down this force by Cadian, spotted out, and Tommy going to go down, but Moxie doesn't manage to get himself the trade onto Valdi. And so in a 4 versus 3, definitely a lot more opportunity. Glace with the CZ is going to be spotted, gets a little bit of attacking through, and Cadian now low. Every single player, except for Deja Vu and Splashkey, all very low. Glace finding himself one there onto Moxie. And so suddenly in a 3 versus 3, maybe, if some incredible shots get hit, Singapore have a great opportunity. Well, Denmark even have a great opportunity, although that being said, with only rifles in hand, Singapore are very capable of taking down these low HP players. All it takes is a few clicks in the right direction, and they should be over and done with.
Yeah, this really should be a fairly quick one. They push their way out on towards that bomb site, though. They have these weapons in their hands, so there is always potential, and they actually find the frag as well. Snappy takes down Benkai. This is going from bad to worse right now from Singapore. Denmark looking like they might actually be able to pick it up. They get into these fantastic power play positions as well. It's so hard to force them to actually peek into this. They're so low, but they have no reason to take the fight. They can just hold back. Deja Vu will luckily be able to best out Cadian there in a slane of Mortal Kombat. Splashkey as well with 2, and they finally hold on. Singapore actually linked the round together. It looked like it was out of their favor, but they come back.
Yeah, absolutely great showing there from Singapore, but still only keeping 2 players alive. They're not going to have an awful amount to play with, so it is just going to be a rebuy coming out. And well, Denmark, they're just playing it safe this time. They're just going with the no buy, a few pistols up, but that's about all. Nice work there from Splashkey on the end, just finding those 3 kills. Going to give him a little bit of money as well, a little bit of a boost, so there is utility out. Problem is, if Singapore lose the next round on the rifle, if Denmark do damage here, they put themselves in a great position going into those rifle rounds. Round 3, of course, and Benkai in trouble, just spinning around, having no idea what's going on. Luckily, he's got Splashkey to back him up. 3 kills come through, 2 headshots in there, and the bomb is dropped. And already there is no bomb plant coming in from Denmark unless they do some magical stuff. 37 HP left on Glaive, and he is actually going to get himself onto the bomb site somehow and try and get that bomb plant down. But there is a man also on CT, so it's not easy, and the flank comes in. Moxie taking them both down, clearing up with the old broom, and Singapore take themselves a 3rd round, keeping alive, and thank God for Splashkey is all they can say.
Yeah, Splashkey has been ludicrous. It's really been awesome to see him actually performing here, especially as well. I wonder how much actual LAN experience Splashkey has as well, being quite a young player. So definitely, I mean, stepping up to the mark ridiculously here today, so really awesome to see him shining right now. But they need to keep this up. You've got 3 rounds on the board. It's a great way to begin it, but can you keep that ball rolling, or is this where the pain train now starts to kick in for Denmark? Have they loaded up enough coal into the engine and got it tooting so they can battle their way through? Valdi will get that opening frag on towards Moxie. Smart play from the man as well. Will be able to back off, won't try and overextend, bite off more than he can chew. We'll just back off and regroup with the rest of his teammates. So Denmark, a nice opening strike, good initiative on display, but what else can they find from the back of this? Tommy, a little bit worried towards mid as well there, thinking they might peek in from underpass, but really top mid is under heavy attack. Glace will throw that smoke in towards window, divide them out a little bit. Nice use of utility as well to try and force them back, and they're looking good in terms of map control. Denmark, spooky right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Denmark with the man advantage thanks to Valdi, and as soon as they get that AWP rolling, they're going to be in a great position to do a little bit of work. Some good pump flashes going out over towards mid. Snappy just having a Google in mid, seeing what he can find. It's going to be Benkai, though, putting that smoke down, holding them off, and trying to defend himself as Denmark pour themselves into that mid area. This is Mirage, of course. In Mirage, you need to take that mid control. You need to have map control in order to stop rotations, stop quick attacks, and stop flanks, most of all, because if Denmark are able to split onto that A-bomb site, it becomes so much weaker. Benko with a nice flash going through, isn't even going to flash himself, and Glaive goes down. Now 4 versus 4 as Deja Vu must hold this B-bomb site with his teammate. The flashes, the smokes, the Molotovs, all coming through those windows, and this is dangerous territory as Tommy takes down one there onto Valdi. Deja Vu just holding fast, trying to get some work done, and it's not working out. 4 versus 3 now. Cadian finally getting back in, and the kill on the site from Snappy now opens this one up wide, and 3 versus 2 as Benkai and Splashkey must go large, but I don't see too much opportunity for them. 3 players alive on that bomb site. Cadian, Glace, and Snappy, all with reasonable amounts of HP. Cadian is a little bit low, but with a spot coming out from Glace, they know exactly where Benkai is. They can concentrate now and just take him down one by one, each frag at a time, and it's all on Splashkey. We've seen him do some incredible stuff so far, but it's not going to happen this time. Cadian takes him down, and that's the round on the board for Denmark now. The economy very weak for Singapore. They're going to be able to get a buyout here, but next round it's going to be tough.
That's so unfortunate. Coming back in there at this point in time as well, really just stepping back up in that first full-buy round for either side, the first rifle round. It's a little bit of a shame. Hopefully there is going to be a difference maker as this one continues on. I mean, Singapore, they're having that individual brilliance. The skill was definitely on Spain. They have so much individual skill on that side, but it's never really come out at the same time. And the situation that now unfolds as well with their economy being busted, it just hinders them even more because they're not going to be able to come into it and just best them out on those 1v1 aim battles. Denmark, in theory, should shut them out fairly easily. We've seen Singapore actually pick up a few interesting ecos in the past off the back of Tommy, such a proficient pistol player. So there's always that silver lining if he starts to take the fight. Right now as well, just going for that face out towards short. There is a lot of players at mid trying to work their way down, but is he going to find any frags? That's obviously going to be the question as they start to make their push up now, encroaching into towards that CT defense, want to try and take them over. You also have the push from Snappy as he works his way through, trying to regroup with the rest of his teammates so they can go for that pincer play on towards the A-bomb site. They've slipped their way straight through actually as Benkai went a bit overzealous. He's back in T-spawn, but they've already claimed the site. He could strike on towards the backline here after they take the site.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a great opportunity for Denmark to just hold on and hold off. But like you said, these positions are pretty strong. If Splashy goes undetected, which is very unlikely now as Glaze takes him straight down, as you can see there, Cadian just wanted the kill for himself. Tommy going to find himself one, but Glaze not going to be able to win out on that battle. This round pretty clean cut so far. I'm interested as to why Singapore didn't just go for the buy there. I'm perplexed. They definitely had the money. Maybe one or two of them didn't, but they could have gone for a reasonable buy. Famas is out, somewhat limited utility, but they would have had weapons and they could have tried to keep that momentum going. Instead, they play a pretty safe game because they have got the lead in their favor. And I mean, normally you wouldn't see a team do this. Singapore are just being incredibly disciplined, and that's very rare to see as Cadian finds the last kill.
They really didn't have much money because even though they were on those 3 rounds, they've just been losing essentially everyone on their team over and over again. So their money was horrific for that. It wasn't really on the cards because they just haven't had the potential. Even though they're getting these rounds, you're just getting owned time and time again that you force out so many rebuys and your economy just doesn't look stable. So Denmark just did a really good job of actually, even though they allowed them to win rounds when they just couldn't close it out, they did enough eco damage, which is always good to see. Denmark as well now, aggression towards that B-bomb site. I wonder if we'll even just see that contact play as they just tiptoe their way through, and then you just leave Cadian at top mid, waiting out to see if anyone's going to push in. He can find those frags and also cause a distraction at the same time. They will go for this boost play as well. So Splashky can look to see if anyone's playing from Delpan, but no one's there. And here goes that push out now towards the B-bomb site. Splashky comes in with the opening frag. Splashky with another one as well. And Tommy coming into the mix, and the flick from Splashky as he takes down Glaze with such a juicy kill. And it all rides on Cadian, trapped at top mid. His teammates were supposed to enter as a tactical unit, barrage their way into the site, but all they've exited is in body bag, Sonny.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely a great bit of play coming in from Splashky once again, and just going huge for his team, keeping them in this one. And honestly, I can see why they didn't go for that buy, because they wanted to get that AWP out, they wanted the utility, and they wanted to make that round actually work, put themselves 4 on the board. And I mean, all I can say is that discipline pays off. They've made themselves a 4th round here, unless Cadian goes absolutely Superman and just demolishes everything that's left. This is going to be a round in the bag for Singapore, and they're coming back into this. They have a chance to keep themselves alive, even though Denmark, they're looking strong. If this can be Singapore's map, and we go to a 3rd map, it'll be the first all day, Joe.
Yeah, this is true indeed. I mean, Singapore, they're having these moments of strength, and this is a really great, show of that as well with Splashky. That player that when he steps up so massively, he's able to be the difference maker for his side. We need to see more coming out of him. He is the catalyst. He's the playmaker on that team.
Yeah, absolutely. He has to come alive and do some work. See if Cadian can make something happen right now. He must be somewhat aware that people are hunting him, and if they can find him after time, that would be absolutely devastating. Tommy's going to be spotted, but not killed. Cadian needs to die before time right now. Oh, Cadian's going to be in serious trouble. What a no-scope comes into the knifing player, but he can't make it work, and he's going to lose all of his money. He's going to lose his AWP, and that's a really, really tough spot to be in going into this next round. It means Denmark are much less likely to be able to force out a buy here. I think they have gone with it, but it's going to be pretty tough. Nice play coming in there from Splashky. It's undeniable, and Tommy backing him up. Just great play to put 4 rounds on the board and double that of Denmark. And once again, Singapore, they start off well. Now the question is, can they keep that going?
Just coming out early towards mid once again. It's been so hard fought for every time. Benkai, as he peeks out, will take down KD, and unfortunately, Splashky's going to be sent off to the Burns ward. Glaive also finds a headshot on towards Benkai, and a round that shouldn't have been in their favor is somehow being taken so swiftly by Denmark, unfortunately, as they just batter their way through, and Singapore don't have an answer for it. They're just getting overpowered. I mean, this is mental, as Denmark just walk into the site and take whatever they want with such ease right now. Outnumber their side 2-1, as Singapore is just holding on, Waiting to see if anything is going to come towards them. Deja Vu will luckily find that frag off on towards Glaze. Valdi couldn't pick up the kill on towards Deja Vu, but he falls eventually anyway. And Tommy going to claim one frag, but that's basically just a little bit of a consolidation kill as he just falls back.
Yeah, Tommy needs to hold on to this weapon, of course. This is going to be a reset coming in for Singapore. After they win 3 rounds, then they lose and win again. They're going to have absolutely no money to play with going into this next round. But they did keep 5 players alive in the last round. Oh, well, they almost did until Cadian took down a few. So they're going to have very limited money going into this next round. But they're going to be able to get the buy off. What they need to do is win this round and not lose all that money. If Denmark win this round, they're going to have nothing to play with whatsoever, and it's going to be really, really difficult for them to get back into this one. And this is when Denmark get a massive opportunity. This is a very, very key round in this early. They're not going for a buy. That's very interesting. I'd love to see what their money is at this stage.
Hugo Valdi as well. We'll find that one frag off on towards Moxie, towards the A-bomb site, and the secondary frag as well. He's always so good at getting those openers towards A, and he can just do it time and time again. Tommy towards short will hit the deck, and it falls on Splashkey, the young gun. A spicy Singaporean hoping to find a frag, but it's not really going to work out as Snappy can just slap him down.
Yeah, so once again, going for the AWP on this round, they had about 3.5k on every player. They could have once again gone for a limited buy, but they choose not to. Now, I really hope they do get this next kill because they've given Denmark a massive opportunity to get back into this one by not forcing there. Obviously, it's never a great idea to force. It's always taking a risk. But you can't just always go for the eco. You're handing rounds away, especially in this early game where you're scrabbling for those rounds, and Denmark are coming out on top. They've evened out the scores. They've taken themselves a 4-on-4, and the pause has come in. I believe this to be tactical.
Yeah, a little bit of a tactical pause. They can talk about what's going on. Obviously, as well, this is smart because you can get the buyout now. They will be able to go into this one if they want to try and go for that. They can't really afford the AWP on Splashkey, which is unfortunate because he really is the difference maker when he has that weapon in his hands. It's a little bit of a hindrance to them, but either way, it will still be the decision that I assume they're going to go for. Denmark, though, looking good. They're looking fairly dominant in the plays they've actually been able to achieve, and that was classic Valde, essentially is what we saw in that previous round. He just walks towards the A-bomb site and is consistently able to find, if not just the first opener, a secondary frag as well, over and over and over again. It's the same old story, no matter who they're playing against, Valde always gets away with that on Mirage. Mirage is literally the Denmark, like, this is the thriving ground for them. They're allowed to just do what they want, and it's insane as well, because it forces so much more information play and just utility off the back of the CT side defense that Singapore's on to try and stop him from doing that. It just causes so much more of a distraction and chaos for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I wonder what Singapore are saying in this break. Obviously, they've been playing relatively well this game, definitely better than the last game on the enemy's map. So what comes into this, I can only imagine, is playing as a team, still keeping up that aggression, because that's when they get the wins. And that's what we're going to see, a little bit of a push coming in over towards that B-bomb site. 3 players just changing up what they're doing, what they're going for. There hasn't been a B-strike really yet. There's only been 1. So Denmark likely, but here it is. Benkai going aggressive, trying to get some gain onto his enemies. And he isn't going to get anything, unfortunately. Glaive going to take him straight down. And although he did a lot of damage, bringing Glaive to 10 HP, it's not enough because that AK is a one-shot kill. Once your head's gone, you ain't going to be doing much shooting.
Exactly, you'll be dead. In the ground, Sonny. 6 foot under.
6 foot under. Maybe more, depending on the grave.
Or less.
Or less.
If the workers were...
Depending on how lazy the workers are.
Exactly.
And how much digging they want to do.
We all know about that. Push coming in towards the A-bomb site here, though. Let's see what Singapore can actually do on this defensive side. They try and hold these angles. The flashbangs will go around. And actually zone him out very well here as well, using that smoke, so they can just flood their way out now. And then the backstab off the back of Glaive is going to be huge. He needs to try and stop Deja Vu, because he's going to be that first point of contact. The one to try and achieve too much here is he just runs in, actually going a bit balls to the walls, crazy. But there it is, the eventual stab will come in off the back of Glaive. And here you go as well. Moxie trying to stay alive in his corner as he rattles well with the AWP, but it's not really going to work out. Glaive find a headshot off onto the Splashkey. Cadian takes down Moxie, and Denmark get that round very quickly. The A-bomb site is such a massive leak right now. They need to call a plumber, Sonny.
Yeah, they need to get someone in to give him a hand, and hopefully the plumber they call this time doesn't just have a screwdriver. Maybe he'll have like some pipes and a wrench and some other stuff to fix the pipes with. Because Denmark are making holes everywhere with their AKs, and most of those holes are going into the Singaporeans' heads. Only pistols to play with this round. Benkai going to get caught straight out by Cadian there. The AWP is instant, and death is imminent, as it is only 4 players remaining for Singapore, and each and every one of them has very little to play with. It's an odd style Singapore go for, very slow, very calculated, and I don't know who's in charge of their economy, but they are, goodness, they like to save. They're like an old couple getting ready for their pension.
Just trying to hold on to that money before they move away to Morocco.
To Morocco, eh? That's a warm place.
Usually, yeah, usually. Well, there you go, everyone getting dropped right now. Warm bodies will be hitting the deck as Cadian finds that shot off on towards Tommy with the AWP. He's looking on point right now, and this is the Cadian we expect to see coming out as well.
Yeah, we need to start seeing something. Cadian, of course, had a very, very good game last time. He's not doing badly at all this game, but he's not having that star performance we used to. So for this round, he's doing pretty well. As the flash will go out, Moxie just trying to give himself an opportunity. It's a perfect flash, but Cadian's in there for support. The AWP comes straight in, and that is a very quick shot to take down Moxie. It's just Deja Vu and Splash Key remain. CZ and USP to play with, and not too much of an opportunity to get any work done. Snappy going to take down Deja Vu, and Splash Key, the last man alive, with a CZ in hand. And not too much to do with it. Let's see if he's going to be able to get anything done as Denmark find themselves up onto 6 rounds to the 4 of Singapore, and the half is drawing to a close. This is getting close, and the scramble for rounds, whoever can take more is on. See that little lens flare, like an optic or a phase kill reel.
Yeah, I can see that, mate. Sure. Why not? Splashkey as well, trapped here on his lonesome. Will be able to skimp his way through with that C-Devs. Unfortunately, he couldn't recover even any better weapons. They weren't able to find that frag onto one of the Danish side, so they can keep all of those weapons, won't have to force out any rebuys, which is really great for his economy. He is actually just going to go for the peeking towards CT as well, and they have that angle covered. I mean, interesting. Going to just go for that fight, so doesn't actually even save the CZ there. Possibly was trying to go for that to see if any weapons were blown towards him after the bomb exploded, but I don't think there was really an investment at all from the Singapore side, so not like there would have been a weapon there.
Yeah, there wasn't really too much to go for. It wasn't really worth the whisk.
Worth the whiskers.
But to be fair, he only had a CZ in hand. There wasn't too much to save onto, and on the CT side, you're always going to make the money at the end of the round. So not too much risk, and I guess the opportunity for reward. But this time, it's going to be a close play towards A. Moxie wants to get back in and do some work, but he's really got no opportunity. Unless he can get in close and take down Valdi on only 11 HP, but Valdi's backed off. Valdi knows what's going on here, and he's not going to play with fire. So it is going to be a pretty even start to the round. Valdi going to be going down there. He had the angle covered, but Moxie was just a little bit quicker than him, went in with the spray, and because Valdi was so low, it was not difficult to take him down with the M4A4 in hand. So only 6 rounds up. Denmark still have to fight and scrabble to get themselves back into this one. I like a game of Scrabble, Jack.
Yeah, lovely. A bit of ground Scrabble here and there. You can spell some big words like Splash Key, as he wants to try and find these frags here and go absolutely massive if he can. That's got to be, you know, at least a couple of points on the board.
Yeah, Snappy there taking down Tommy, and that's quite a few points on the board, as you say. As Snappy finds himself a second. Glaze follows it onto Benkai, and all of a sudden, it's a 4-on-2. So Singapore go from an advantageous situation to an unadvantageous situation. Not exactly what you want to be having on your breakfast with your eggs. Sunny side up. Cadian with the AWP still going. Splash Key is going to peek out, and he is going to take down Cadian. So there's an opportunity here because Snappy is very, very low on HP. The flashbang goes in, it's ineffective. Snappy goes down. Splash Key is just once again proving his worth as Glaze will fall, and it's all on Glaive. All of a sudden now, one player remains, taking down Splash Key, giving himself an opportunity, but they know the position of that last player. Moxie is made aware of. There's 11 seconds. And this is a very tough position for Glaive to play in. He's going with the full plant here, and Moxie doesn't try and challenge him. And so this gives Glaive a massive opportunity, but Moxie is too quick. Takes the kill and takes the round for his team. That's 5 on the board. Yeah,
this is great as well. And he's also going to try and recover that AWP so he can bring that into the next round for his side. And that was an awesome round towards the end. Really sick retake coming out from Moxie. 3 frags on the board. They were able to cause enough, you know, dismay early on to really confuse Denmark so they could work their way through and pick that one up. Great way of doing things.
Yeah, absolutely. So 5 rounds on the board to the 6 of Denmark, and Singapore are very much proving a point here. They are coming back into this one, but I still don't think it's possible to beat a foe like Denmark. There is a lot of skill on that roster. There's a lot to do and a lot to beat. So whether they can or not, we are going to have to wait and see. But Denmark, still, they are the ones under pressure because they are the better team. They are the more skilled team. And we expect good things coming out of them. Glaive just jumping his way into mid. Benkai goes together with his teammate to find 1 and 2. And Deja Vu will fall, but it's all worth it because Tommy finding Glaive and finding Cadian. This is huge. Snappy now the last man alive versus 4. And Singapore look to secure themselves a 6th round into this one. That's huge against Denmark, especially this early in the game. And this is going to be a very tight half.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for them to really achieve too much into this one. It's looking scary. I mean, Singapore, a whole lot better than we expected. The shot from Moxie that actually even closed out the previous round was sick. So they're looking crisp. Everyone's looking a whole lot better. They're starting to really get themselves riled up and do the damage. And I mean, if they can carry on playing like this, God help Denmark at this point. Snappy towards top mid as well, as he's just going to go for his slow face out. Focusing so heavily towards window, not even, going to react at all to the fact that Tommy's there, scoped in with the AWP, trying to find that frag on towards him. Peeks out now, needs to try and get a couple of frags on the board here, but it's going to be a struggle. They peek into him 1 by 1, luckily, and he can take down Benkai, but Splashkey can respond, and they actually tie it up here. 6-6 is going to be the scoreline.
Yeah, 6-6.
Exactly.
That's a pretty good score so far for Singapore. Oh, that rhymed. I am somewhat the master of nothing at all in life. 6-6, of course. And on to the 13th round. Whoever can take themselves 9 or 8 will be winning the half. But with this close, it all comes down to the next pistol round as to who is going to get themselves either back into it or get themselves ahead. Now Denmark, with a buy into this one, they have Cadian up on the AWP. They have a lot of utility to mess around with. So let's see if they're going to be able to put that utility to use, or is it just going to stand idly by while Singapore keep taking rounds. I was not expecting this to go even whatsoever. Glaive working his way through mid, just jumping around, waiting for kills, and Glaze finding himself one there onto Tommy as Benkai gets tagged up to 49 HP. And so far, this is a great round for Denmark. A lot of damage done, a kill on the board. And Singapore, they need to get back into it and prove who they are.
Yeah, Singapore needs to just bounce back right now. Try and keep continuing on the way they were playing previously and really rip their way through. They've done a little bit of damage towards Snappy, but it's not that much. Tagging him just almost below 50 HP. You've got that double up setup. This is where you're going to be at your most efficient. This is where you can close down those angles, play from range a whole lot more, and really complement yourself with that style of play. And they're a little bit limited now as well after losing that first frag, because they can't try and go for those more aggressive openers and try and take the fight towards Denmark. They really just have to hold their ground and wait for the push to come in towards them. In the setup they're going for right now is they try and make their way up short, then go for that take towards B, with Valde just coming out on towards A to be the distraction and really keep them busy and keep them focusing on there. I mean, B is literally an open site right now. There is a welcome out on the ground, proffering them in. It wants them to try and come in and take control of him, and it's going to be scary when they do so. Actually, Valde as well is going to back off. Seems like he won't even attempt to go in, as they've already got that information. They believe that B is going to be clear, so they just walk straight in and rotate him over so he can help them out as they try and get that bomb planted. Moxie has a bit of an angle here, waiting to see if there's going to be a peek coming out. Well, unfortunately, he's changed his weapon at just the wrong timing here and doesn't even know that someone's walked in, but luckily he has the backup of his teammate, Deja Vu. Finds that frag very easy on towards Glaive. Deja Vu will be taken down by Cadian, though, as well. Fires back, Splashkey and Moxie. The double up setup proving to be so damaging as they go for this retake, but it just rides on them now. They have the best Valde in Glaze. Glaze coming in from behind as well. Sorry, Valde coming in from behind as he just B-hops all the way round. He really can go for a huge backstab here, but the flick from Splashkey, oh my goodness, as he takes down Glaze. That is so huge. Valde on the scene of the crime as well. Splashkey switches out to the AK, has to tap the bomb to try and draw him in. He doesn't really want to go for the peek just yet. Trying to go for that mind game, finds the frag with the headshot, and the defuse to boot should be coming out. Singapore get that 7th round.
Absolutely insane stuff coming out of there from those two AWPs. And once again, Splashkey is huge. What is this man drinking? What did he have for breakfast? Because I want some of it. It definitely wasn't the pancakes and bacon I had, because that would not make me do that. My lord, Singapore having an absolute killer of a game so far and definitely putting their name back into the hat here, as Denmark looking somewhat shattered as Singapore just storm ahead, but there is still an awful lot of opportunity for Denmark. Going on to their CT side, this is still Mirage. It's an 8-7, 9-6 map, so if Denmark can come back into this in the second half, all is well. But if Singapore can win, absolutely insane stuff. As Cadian works his way forward, AWP in hand, he's going to burn to death, of course, as Tommy will just flame him on the way out. And that's not just flame on Twitch chat, that's real flame. Well, it's still not real, but it's realer. Realish, almost there.
Of course.
Augmented reality.
Why wouldn't it be? Push coming out towards the A-bomb site as well once again. Denmark. We want to see if they can find some repeat success here, trying to work their way out. Or will Singapore be able to hold it as they get close?
getting ready, warming themselves up, and here they go for the backstab. Glaive actually gets taken down by Deja Vu as he was able to touch and help his teammate just in the nick of time before he would have been eliminated. Just a hit was taken out on him, but he couldn't quite finish the contract. But there you go, Snappy as well. We'll come in with that one off on towards Benkai. It's looking good as all defense in the A bomb site is beginning to crumble, just getting swiftly knocked away. Tommy firing back, eventually finds that headshot on towards Valde. Can upgrade to the AK as well. Flashk coming in from the sideline, trying to aid him as they just slip their way back in. They need to do something fairly quick though. Find that initial frag on towards Snappy, create a 1v1, but they won't be allowed to. Snappy finds the frag, Snappy with the second as well, and Denmark an instant rebound.
Yes, straight back in, and Denmark completely reset the economy of Singapore. There is nothing to go into this final round with. They have no money whatsoever. And so this should be a really good opportunity for Denmark to take themselves the 8-7. But I don't think anyone was expecting this to come to 8-7, Jackie. This is some very impressive stuff from Singapore. They're truly strutting their stuff, and I think a lot of that can be accredited to Splashkey, who's just going, well, as his name says, he's going Colosseum, or more colossal, but I mean Colosseum works.
Colosseum.
Yep, he's going Colosseum.
And at the Thunderdome. But it's just a load of Danish people there.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'd pay to see that. That'd be interesting. Glaive working his way up through connector once again as well. Will be met by an MP9 of all weapons on Deja Vu. It's going to be interesting to see how that fight actually goes down.
Deja Vu always reminds me of the TV channel, Deja Vu.
It was actually just called Dave.
No, there was also Deja Vu.
Which was like +1.
Yeah, it's quite clever that. Anyway, Deja Vu is going to be holding down over towards the connector. And Glaive's worked his way into the flashbang, goes out, but no peek to follow. And as I say, these weapons are not strong, and Glaive is going to instantly dispatch Deja Vu. They aren't going to check Benkai, who's hiding away in the smoke, but Valdi is just pinning down his position. Unfortunately, Benkai is just going to move in and live. Oh, this is awkward. There is two players, both hiding away on this A bomb site, one in Palace, one on ramp, and the T's just haven't cleared enough of this site to be confident moving in. Glaive is watching towards the A ramp. They're not going to be going in to clear it, but the kill is going to come from Glaive. That's a massive bit of play. And they may be aware of Benkai's position as well, as Tommy just taps away with the 5-7 in a hand. And still, this is a massive advantage in the hands of Denmark as Valdi finds one more. Benkai comes in, 1 and 2. Could even find a third there, as the low player on Glaive is only on 1 HP. The smoke going to go down, but Glaive still finds one more kill. Finally gets put down by Benkai, but he finds himself the last man alive, and he's not going to be getting the ace. Cadian takes him down and puts it on a 7-8 scoreline.
So close. Almost was able to actually pick that one up, and that was such a huge play of individual skill there coming out. What a shame as well, because Singapore, they're looking better and better by the second, seeming like they can actually contend up against this side, but I mean, just what can you say? What can they really do here? Because Denmark, they should be the favorites in this situation. This is their home territory. Mirage is their map pick. We know how powerful they've been looking throughout the tournament, but all of a sudden, Singapore's just starting to get this little bit of energy behind them. If they can keep this up, if their T side can be as strong as their CT half, potentially they could actually pick this one up. They're going to go for the fast at bursts as well, with the smoke going over on top of towards stairs, so they just lose a little bit of a line of sight. It zones them out slightly, but we know how powerful the pistols on that CT side can be. Tommy is going to get taken down as well off the back of Valde, but Moxie will fire it back. Cadian comes with a headshot of his own, just tapping away, trying to find whatever they can, see if they can achieve anything, as the site is under such heavy play from the T's. They get into these after plant positions. It's looking good so far, but the retake coming out is damaging. Glaive and co ripping their way through. It all falls on towards Benkai. USB in hand, but he can't quite land the shots. Glace will be able to eliminate him.
Yeah, I don't know what Glace was looking for there. I think he expected a player from Palace, but I mean, Hastings said there was no one coming because everyone was dead. Going to have a bit of a jump around now like a wild monkey, just going to be hopping around. And it's not going to work out because he did fall off in the end, so he's now on the ground and he's fallen over, he's hurt his leg. It's all gone badly for him.
Yeah, indeed. Denmark, though, going to be able to pick up a fantastic pistol round. It went really down to the wire. A lot of that needs to be given to Cadian, though, with the 2 openers he got. They were fantastic. And then just towards the end as well, the retake coming out, Glaive stepping up to the mark as he found those headshots. And yeah, just good play on the retake more than anything. They bent, allowed Singapore to get an awful lot of map control. Sure, you got the bomb plant down, but you didn't eventually get the round. So sets Denmark up into a fantastic position. They know that there is going to have to be that eco out in Singapore now. They're just going to take what they can get, going for these early peaks. A bit of a dink goes out on towards Glaive, actually, but they find the initial frag anyway. Glace is going to go in and get the kill off on towards Deja Vu, and there's just 3 men left remaining now, trapped at mid, as they all just enter 1 by 1, trying to take the fight. They want to get the kills on these MP9s so they can rack up the extra cash.
Yeah, absolutely. Benkai, the last man alive, is going to get taken down by Glaive. So 7-10 now on the board for Denmark. But thanks to the plant on the first round, it is going to be the buy-up coming through from Singapore. So they're only 3 rounds down. There is definitely still an opportunity for them to get back into this one. And this is so close. Singapore have a massive opportunity here to do so much work and get themselves, I mean, really throwing some punches at this point, as Denmark are, slowing down. But they're back on top. They are at least back on top. So let's see if Singapore can get themselves back into this one. Just AKs across the board. SMGs, M4s for Denmark. Holding on to that bonus round by Glaive. No utility at all. Just going to have to go with the old weapon. And that's exactly what he does. Takes down Tommy straight off the mark. And Tommy, not a Tommy gun today. Instead, just a normal gun. Glaive still playing around this block, so Splashki takes down his teammate. Splashki makes it a double, and finally Valdi takes one down, but Benkai still going and demolishing this Danish defense. I don't know why I said Danish defense there, but it's not a Danish defense or a Danish pastry, in case you're interested. 2 gates so far for Valdi, but they need to get back onto this bomb site. The nice Molotov goes in, and Splashki can get lit up, but he gets out, he takes the frag anyway, and Singapore win the round. Denmark just a little bit sloppy there.
Yeah, Denmark unfortunately not able to pick that one up. Looking good from Singapore as they were able to swiftly come through and eliminate them into that. There you have it. There's this retake as well. Looked good as Splashki was able to come in, get that opening frag off the back of it, take down Glace, and the follow-up as well on towards Glaive. Moving on into round 19 now. Is this where Singapore start to get things back into their control, or will Denmark actually take it down? The push comes up towards top mid, want to catch them off guard. They have a nice angle. Splashki can just go for the taps here, the pre-fire shots, and hope they can actually take someone down, but it isn't really working out. Has this angle an absolute lock. Valde as well is going to go for the spam around the corner and fall back towards that B bomb site.
Yeah, this is not a great situation. Bomb all the way back. 1 minute and 20 seconds on the clock. There is still time to play with Deja Vu. With the Galil in hand, needs to get back in. Of course, it's still not the greatest buy for either team. Of course, the AK is working for Singapore, and there is KDM. We were talking about him last map. He's going to take down Benkai with a swift headshot on that scout. And 4 versus 5 now. Denmark back in the driving seat with only 58 seconds remaining. Singapore need to get a hustle on, need to get themselves into that A bomb site and do some work, as that is going to be the target of their aggression. Glaive is still playing up in Palace, hoping someone's going to peek him. He has an AK in hand, so it is going to be that one headshot kill, but Moxie takes the better of him, taking him down now, leaving it back into a 4 versus 4. And Cadian has to go large on that scout to try and get them back into this. Nice cross kill from Snappy, but he's not even going to get that. Finally, Cadian cleans up the kill, but it should have been an advantage in the hands of Denmark, and it's not going to be. So a 3 versus 3 retake is going to be coming in. Glace on the Galil, working his way forward, but already this is a tough spot to be in. Nice kill comes in, as Glace will take down Deja Vu, but the trade comes through from Splashki, who is still going large for his team. There it is, Cadian finally gets that kill with a scout. And the last man, Moxie, on only 3 HP. One single bullet will kill him, and he has very little hope of winning this round. He's going to go down, and Denmark, even though it's a 10-second defuse, are going to be able to win this one and put 11 on the board.
Yeah, fantastic play from Denmark there on the retake. Really good. Cadian with some 6 shots. 3K into the round and just looking better and better by the second. I mean, this is the man we expected to see coming out from him.
Yeah, absolutely. Finally seeing some signs of life from Denmark. But if you compare the Denmark we saw last map and the Denmark we're seeing this map, it's just an absolute world of difference. They're different teams, and Singapore is just coming alive. They really are showing that if you give them an inch, they're going to take it, and they're going to try their absolute best. But Denmark now on 8-11, and an eco round coming out from Singapore. We've seen them win an eco or 2 on the last map and on this map, but are they going to be able to do it this time? I mean, potentially, this is an interesting spray coming in from Cadian. Luckily, his teammates bailing him out there. He's finding a pistol kill. How is he still alive? Finding kills left, right, and center. Finally getting put down after a 3K, but Valdi's there to pick up the pieces, taking that last 2K. I'm putting 8-12 on the board. I don't know how Cadian survived so long.
Yeah, that was really awkward. All of those frags were so weird, but he was able to do so in the end anyway, switching out to that USP and just tapping away for everyone, dodging bullets like the Matrix.
Yeah, like Neo from the Matrix. Which Matrix is your favorite?
Ooh, probably the first Matrix.
Yeah? You know what I like?
What?
Lord of the Rings. 8-12 now, and the buy back out for Singapore. They're going to be on those AKs once more. Still no AWPs on the board. We haven't seen too much in the way of AWP artillery, if you will. we had a bit of a go on an AWP downstairs, and it was good fun. We shot something. So if you guys want to have a go with an AWP, a real one, there's one just by the entrance, and you can shoot it. It's not actually real, sorry, I said that wrong. It's airsoft, so it's got the little plastic things in it. So head downstairs, and it's a couple dinar.
Cheers, mate.
No worries.
Glad you've shared that information with everyone. But it will be an A site take coming out from Singapore with the smokes going over. You've also got the backstab players that I think are working their way towards underpass. They're going to come through swiftly, and they'll all conjoin up as they go through connector. Pincer on towards the A bomb site off the back of that. Bomb will be going in late in the back line, so he's not going to have to worry about getting picked off early and the whole thing going completely wrong. But what's the key factor here is I was going to say the mid control coming out for Denmark. They already had 2 players there lying in wait. They pushed in early now, and this is the thing. They still have to go for this as the smokes are already initiated. They have to commit off the back of this play as it's the only thing they have left in their playbook. Pushing their way in, Tommy taking a heavy bit of damage early on. Valde in such a great power play position, but it doesn't work out as Deja Vu's able to kill him. Glace as well with that frag on towards Benkai as he spams through the smoke. Splash K will actually best Cadian somehow. Luckily, Glaive is on the scene of the crime to actually do damage. It falls into this 3 versus 3. A lot more health to play with on the side of Denmark. They have the better situation, especially when a peek like that comes in from Tommy and he just throws it away, trying to recover the recoil of that weapon, but just couldn't hold it and gets punished because of this. Moxie as well goes around tiptoeing into the angle. We'll find that frag off on towards Glaive. Can Snappy and Co find it? Gets sent off to the Burns wall of all things, and it just falls to Glaive. So 1 versus 1 can sit on the bomb here. So Moxie's going to have to just push into him. Looks like he will just go for the straight commit. So close, but actually gets punished by Moxie.
Yeah, a 3K in the round from Moxie there, just doing absolute work, being really, really patient and finding the kills as soon as they came to him. So he's going to be able to keep his team in it and put it on a 9-12. That could have been 30 rounds for Denmark. So close that it wasn't. Seconds in it. And so Denmark take themselves 12 rounds. And already this is getting pretty intense now. This game is way too close for comfort, and Denmark expected to be done an hour ago. They already booked their table at the bar, so this is going to be a lot more work than they first expected. Singapore are putting up an absolute fight right now, and some good taking through onto Glaive. Interesting buyout from Denmark. They haven't got too much to play with. A rifle or 2, some pistols, and a UMP on Glaive, and Benkai going to take down Cadian. So that's not a great start. The kills are just coming in all over the place now. Singapore absolutely wrecking, but finally a kill comes back. Glaive finds a double kill, and it's all on Snappy with 2 HP, but he can't make too much happen. Singapore break double figures, and they're most likely to get 11 now because there is no money for Denmark to play with.
Yeah, that is very true indeed. Denmark completely broken into that. Singapore starting to really get some wind under their wings, looking fairly effective right now. Round 23, 10-12 is the scoreline, and Denmark, it's just hard, you know, they're starting to get into these situations where decision-making goes completely out the window. Singapore making them look almost panicked. The smoke will be going out towards that A-bomb site, trying to plant that seed of doubt, hoping they'll go for this stick on towards the A site. They've already committed with a full stack, so they have full entry in towards B. They can just walk in, do whatever they want. There's a welcome out there, but the only unfortunate thing is that retake, they're all together. They're already grouped. They haven't lost a single man. They can just go in together, and it doesn't matter if they die. They only have these pistols.
Yeah, exactly. So the push through mid, not going to be effective. And, well, there was nothing really to gain out of this round, but Denmark aren't going to get really anything done at all. Glace is just holding an angle here, and Tommy just looking to clean him up. He's going to spot him out, and no kill going to be coming through for Glace, so it's going to be a nice, easy clean-up. Cadian and Glaive now the last 2 men alive, and I don't expect too much to be coming out of this situation. What we should be seeing is Singapore just clearing up, taking 11, and once again coming very, very close to evening this situation out. I'd really like to see an AWP out on the side of Denmark at this point. We really haven't seen much AWP ability so far on Mirage, except in that first half, but so far the second half, and we are in round 24 now, we need to be seeing an AWP come out. Firstly, to anchor down those sites, and then to open up that mid area. If Denmark start taking mid effectively, they're going to see a completely different Mirage right now.
You know what's scary as well is
Clowns.
what we've seen in the past from Denmark, other than the Killer Clown squad.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, in the past, Denmark have basically looked like this team on Mirage where they're always so dominant early on, especially in their T half. When you get into late game and they're on CT half, it's almost as if they can't quite close it out. Every time, it's that same little stumble.
Is it a Danish thing?
I don't know, man.
It could be.
Probably not. We'll find out anyways. This push comes in towards T-spawn. They're trying to hold the angle. Tommy had the AK-47 just tapping away. Does actually ward off both of the Danish players. They're not going to continue on their warpath and just fall back, but no trade. Just a little bit of information gained for either side.
Yeah, so not really too much going on, but we have got that AWP out on Cadian now. He should be able to get some work done with this and try and get his team into a better position. Maybe try and take that 13th round, and then they can force Singapore onto an eco potentially. But right now, Denmark just need to come alive and start doing some serious work, some fragging, getting themselves back into a bit of confidence. The nice push is out here. Valdi in a great position as the flashbang comes in. The smoke going to be going down, and that should fend off any remaining attack from Singapore. Valdi going to be able to get himself a kill, but it's all been a fake. And the real attack is coming over towards that B bomb site. The bomb now being recovered. They're setting up for smokes and flashes and getting ready to get themselves in here. It's Cadian on the AWP, holding fast, gets the first kill now, going and looking for a second one for himself. He sees that paint on the wall and he thinks, that could be me. As Cadian now finding Moxie, looking for more. He finally goes down, but Snappy's in position to take down the rest of the aggressing players, and that's going to be Denmark. 13 rounds looking to take Singapore down a peg, but there is still money to buy.
That's a whole lot better as well, because all of a sudden it seemed like Singapore was starting to get a little bit of resurgence in terms of energy and overall firepower, whereas Denmark, they were slipping. They couldn't quite get the grips on things and started to slip their way through, whereas all of a sudden back to their old tricks, back up to their old book. So hopefully this just sort of sets the scene of the rest of the game for Denmark. There is going to be that one smoke going over towards the A bomb site, and then an aggressive push into apps off the back of Benkai, while the rest of his team will just be holding out for the meantime, seeming like he's just going to scope it out. There has been a couple of pushes and a couple of cases where Denmark will go overly aggressive, try and take apps control early and then fall back, I believe, so this can counter that. Double players playing under dark right here with Glaive with the Molotov in hand, so heavy contention is going to be coming from ramp. They're going to try and sprint their way up. That Molotov will make things very awkward for them. Not only will it speed up their decision making, cause panic in the team, if they commit to run through it, you get that initial bit of tag and it just removes some of their sustain for late game.
Yeah, absolutely. Smoke now going down. It's going to be Glaive following it up with a Molotov. Well, not quite yet. He's just going to make sure someone is coming first. The flash comes through and now he knows. Finds the first kill and the second kill, opening this one up for Denmark. Now in a 4 versus 3, it's all on Denmark. Can they complete the work that has been done by Glaive, or are they going to fall short of the goal they've been trying to achieve for so long? A little hidden position here by Valdi could be the absolute key to this round. Cadian going to pop a flash over Mox. He knows he's there. Finally, Valdi peeks out, finds 1, 2, and the last man is above him. Benkai will take him down, but it's all on Benkai now to completely clutch this 1 versus 3. Hiding in the smoke is going to work out because he takes down Cadian, but 1 versus 2, he's going to go down to Glace.
Yeah, he will get taken down, and that's really not what you wanted. Fantastic play from Denmark towards the end of that one. Started to tighten it back up, and the A site, they just can't really get the entries they want to bring to the table. Huge frags one play from Grave, really. You know, we expect him to throw that Molotov down, just try and buy his teammates a little bit more time to play with, but goes massive with that 2K on the opener, and basically from that point onwards, it was just downhill spiral.
Yeah, absolutely. But that play there by Valdi was absolutely huge to be able to just completely distract and destroy. Oh, back out now for Cadian. Nice kill onto the bomb carrier. Of course, this is an eco, but Cadian, he wants the kills anyway. Pad those stats, build up that HETV rating, and it's all on Benkai now, but he can't get much done. It's going to be match point on the board for Denmark. And Jackie, while we saw this win coming for Denmark, I did not see it going like this.
No, Denmark, round after round of just complete domination coming out towards the end. And I mean, Singapore, they were looking strong for a while. There was a brief period where it seemed like potentially this could be them taking this map. I mean, where was this Singapore on Dust 2? That's what I'm so disappointed about.
Yeah, absolutely. That was their map as well. They had all the opportunities. That's where we should have been seeing this aggressive, ingenuitive play. They've had all of yesterday and the day before to watch how Denmark play. They should have known. They've already played Denmark once, and it didn't go too well last time. So, I mean, readjusting was key, but we didn't see that. But there is still potentially 4 rounds left if they want to force the overtime. And Denmark, they don't want the overtime. They just want the win right now. It is all AKs, but Cadian on the AWP. Kits across the board. It's a pretty good buy-up coming in here from Denmark. There isn't much that they desire, except for this final round win. That is all that is left in the coffers for them to win. And Singapore, they're the only ones that don't want them to have it.
No, Singapore do not want this to be slipped away from them. They want to try and hold on for at least 1 more round to try and keep that fight going. They have the fire in their hearts, but can they find the frags? Can they deal the damage? And go blow for blow with Denmark into this round. Slow stuff so far, as they just hold the map control they were able to take until Benkai will throw a spanner into the works. Takes down Spanny, Snappy even with that initial frag, and they make their way on towards the opening site. This is great ingenuity as well. You go for that boost up from Benkai, allows you to get so much control over short, and this puts Glaive in a horrific position. He will peek out, gets 1, but there's the trade back. The revenge track instantly from Deja Vu. A whole lot better. Communication massively on point there from Singapore. Where was this previously? Glace as well, trapped into the A-bomb site now. So many angles to deal with. He peeks
peeks out short, but just gets punished by Moxie. Deja Vu! My goodness! I mean, if that man flicks like that, that's just ridiculous, Sonny.
Absolutely is. That was absolutely insane. And Singapore, they keep themselves in it for one more round, Jack. This is so close. It's coming down to the absolute wire. Is this going to be the first overtime we see in this entire game so far? Or this entire tournament?
Very possibly. I mean, there is a chance it's on the table right now. I mean, that was just beautiful. I feel like, you know, you usually have to pay people lots of money to get them to flick you like that.
Oh, yeah, you absolutely do. But Glaive going to take down Tommy. The trade comes in, and so advantage falls into the hands of Singapore until Deja Vu comes in from behind, taking down Gleison. The over-aggression is absolutely punished. KD now has to come in big with the AWP in hand. He has to be able to get some work done here, but the boost is coming out, and Benkai's going to be flanking around onto that window position. He's moved his way in, but I don't think KD has any idea right now what could be going on. Maybe he does. He's got the angle covered. He finds the kill now in a 3 versus 3, but the trade comes straight back in. Splashkey makes it into a 2 versus 3, and Valdi needs to get this kill onto Splashkey, otherwise he's going to be in serious trouble as the clash comes in. Everyone to the A-bomb site is the call. Everyone get over here, get this bomb down, and take themselves to a 13th round, but is Valdi going to allow it? And is his teammate going to get there in time? Valdi taking one head off. Trying for the second, but it's not going to work. Now the clutch comes down to Snappy. 1 versus 2. He has some utility, he has the kit, but has he got the ability to win this round for his team? The Molotov goes down to block off any entrance via jungle. He works his way in now, tapping away on Moxie. Just getting himself into a good position, but the nades rain in. He's blocked off via flash, and now he has so much work to do. It's almost impossible because he is split between 2 angles. There's only one he can check at a time, and if he checks the wrong one, he will die. Moxie revealing himself, but it doesn't matter because he takes Snappy out the server.
Yeah, he is going to be able to strike him down. Fantastic frag coming out there now, and Denmark, busted economy. This isn't great. You basically have to allow this to go 14 rounds for Singapore and then try and win on that final one, or else we are going to be seeing overtime. I mean, Denmark have lost it all.
Yeah, absolutely. Denmark are so close to not being able to close this one out. But, I mean, there's still 2 rounds, Jackie. There's still 2 rounds for them to win. They are taking the eco here. It is going to be coming down to the 14th round in this game. Snappy just holding underneath the window. It's going to find himself one. Can't quite close until the second. And so the CT forces have to close in on him. Moxie and Benkai both coming together for a kill each, a kill apiece. And Singapore looking very, very strong. Not a single kill coming through just yet from Denmark, except the one on Tommy. And so, keeping that economy alive into the last round. Deja Vu taking down Glace. And Moxie just holding the angle, not allowing anything to Denmark. There is nothing they can do here except save and maybe spam the smoke a little bit. But that's literally it. They have to go into this next round, and I mean, this is it, Jack. This is what it comes down to. This is way too close for comfort.
Yeah, no chances left at all. I mean, Denmark right now, they're doing their best Ian Beale impression. They've got nothing left. So it has to be now or never, Sonny. The buy will be coming out with these M4s in hand. You cannot get that AWP out on Cadian. Luckily, you've got a fair bit of utility to work with apart from Glaze. So there you go, the buy will coming out. You have the rest of that cash. We'll spin to that in the end, get the nade, the 2 flashbangs, and the smoke in play. But this is it now. They need to have no mistakes, or else overtime will be the call on map 2. Singapore versus Denmark. They're looking dominant. Can they keep it up as they sprint their way in towards B? Snappy's in a power play position. Will get the opening frag, but what more can he find? Unfortunately, nothing as he gets taken down. Glace and Cadian, though, come in. This is great. This could be the shutdown play, as it's just Splashkey and Motsky remaining. You can see they want this so badly. They don't want to be eliminated. Splashkey finds that frag on towards Glace, is able to punish him, overpowers him now, and it falls into a 3 versus 2. But look how low he is. A little bit of wind could blow him apart, and eventually his teammate hits the deck as well. The headshot from Glaive will take them down. Give it up for Denmark as they find the frag. Obviously, I forgot what they were called there.
Denmark absolutely destroy that. I mean, it should not ever come that close, but Singapore put such a good fight up. They play so well. And in the last round, they can't close it out. But well played to Denmark and Singapore. A pat on the back for you guys. Can we just give it up for Singapore for such an incredible effort before you guys leave? That's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. We knew they could play to that style, and it just was never there in the group stage. It was never really coming through, and all of a sudden, it looked like they were about to take it. I mean, this was amazing. Splashkey, a great performance throughout and throughout, time and time again. And everyone else on that team, we could see them coming out, just amazing experience. Benkai, I mean, you've got to give it to this man as well. He was such a core player in that team and being able to get those clutch situations. So many impact frags tied to him.
I don't know if you saw that there, but KDM is coming down the stairs, and he just puts his hand out and says, Spleshki, you're insane, man.
Yeah, you could see like there was that little bit of banter between them both. It seemed like he was genuinely surprised by how well they performed, and it was just amazing to see. And something else that's always amazing is I love, you know when actors get repurposed for different jobs after sort of, their main career falls apart?
Yes.
Do you remember the Austin Powers franchise of films?
Yes.
Yeah. I always love those because, do you remember the Mini-Me, the little guy?
The little guy, yeah. He's great,
Well, we've actually got him here. He's on the studio back on the desk. So let's throw it over to our best friend over Mini-Me and the rest of the analysts on the desk.
Do you know what? As a group of amateurs, they did really, really well up there, didn't they? That was an amazing bit of casting from those boys. So thank you very much. They'll be back tomorrow if we hire them back. No guarantee. Denmark taking on Singapore. What an amazing match that was, right down to the wire. I think we'll all agree. Absolutely electric stuff. And what do we think on the desk?
To be honest, of course, we set 2-0. That's it. But really, really well played by Singapore in that last one.
Yeah, I gotta agree. I think twice I thought it's all done for Singapore. Once after Dust 2 went that poorly for them, and the second time after the first half of Mirage, I thought, yeah, they got 7 rounds on the CD side, but that won't be enough. Well, I was wrong both times, and man, this is the worst, right? You lose 16-14 to essentially a better team than yourself, and that's the worst feeling, If we could have taken one more round, we could have won it.
I have to give props to Singapore. You really have to. Like, they played exquisitely on Mirage. Dust 2 really didn't go in their favor, but Mirage was so close. Like, so close. Yeah, exactly. Like, that close.
That close.
And that last round, we were shouting here like, KDN, don't peek, don't peek, don't peek. He didn't peek, and when he did, he got the kill. So I think it was Waldy. I think, I'm not sure who. Anyways, he didn't peek. He did the right stuff, and they managed to end the map 16-14 in their favor. All props to Denmark, but like Singapore, props to you, big props to you.
Yeah, definitely.
Some great analysis in 5 minutes, including some replays of the best moments. If you missed anything, we'll have that with you in 5. But I think Georgia's managed to grab someone backstage. Georgia, over to you.
That is true, Tom. Thanks again. We're back live at the stage here in the Combank Arena with me, Glaive, for Team Denmark. The third quarterfinal match just finished. Denmark won against Singapore 2-0, 16-4 and 16-14. Your first impressions?
I think we played a pretty good game. It was a tough game on Mirage, but Dust 2 was pretty easy.
On Mirage, it got scary for a moment. 16-14 wasn't easy.
It was a tough match. They played really well. I think they played even better than they did when we played them in the group stage. I'm glad we overcame the tough loss it would have been to lose. And I'm really happy for my team. It's tough when you haven't practiced at all with your teammates, but I think we are doing pretty well right now.
You're in the top 4 teams in the world, but you're going to face in the semifinals either Sweden or Argentina. Who do you expect to see there?
I expect to meet Sweden, but as we saw yesterday, Argentina can beat really good teams. They played really good, even though I felt like we played terrible as well on that T side and overpass. I think it's going to be an exciting match, whether we meet Argentina or Sweden. But I think the best match would be us against Sweden. We want revenge.
Thank you, Glaive, very much. Get some rest, get ready for tomorrow. It's a big day, the semifinals against Sweden or Argentina. So the last match of the day, the 4th quarterfinal match between Sweden and Argentina. Going back to the desk with Tom and the guys.
In my opinion, probably one of the most dramatic matches of the day. Denmark taking on Singapore. There we go. It's a really dramatic match, is basically what I was saying. Denmark 16, Singapore 14, the final score. Nail-biting stuff here from the Combank Arena today. And boys, we've got some replays, right? Some of your favourite bits.
Yep. Who should start?
I think it's like we should start with the only Dane here, and I think the only Danish play, and Glaive. Take it away, Niels.
Yeah, to be honest, to start this off before we get the clip rolling. We're talking about Dust 2, and here it is, Glaive, one of the best performing players. He's 1v3 or actually 1v4 almost, gets 4k, and now it's 1v1, of course, with a bit of HP in to spare, but just clutches that perfectly. And when you're in a situation, when you're technically 1v3, low HP, and you're still able to keep it cool and win that round, that's just so amazing.
That's that experience we talked about when
Exactly.
it comes to Glaive. And we have more replays. This time it's going to be Singapore from Mirage.
Yeah.
They had a really good showing. Actually, their T side was quite organized. And here we go. It's a pistol round, the first pistol round. Moxie's gonna get a kill here, and yeah, it's all on Glaive. He cannot do anything. It's a bomb defuse. It's a really huge win for Singapore. It's a good start. Yeah, later on, Denmark is going to bring it back into the half, but Singapore had a couple of rounds strong later on in the half. Thing is, it always came down to those clutches. So at the end, Denmark was able to win that first half, but all in all, I think Singapore had a really good showing on Mirage.
And talking about the third and the final clip, again from Mirage, again Singapore, they played really good, and this one showcases their skill with an AWP. Like, you might seem, this might seem like a double kill, unfortunately it isn't. Tommy gets another one, but overall we see a hard stop by Singapore to Denmark's push towards B side. I mean, a really exquisite show of skill, and that's, I think, one of the Denmark players, when I talked to him, he said their problem is not the skill, it's not the pure aiming, it's just that they don't have enough experience, and that's, I think, the only one thing that they need to improve on. And how do you improve on that?
Yeah, by going to events like this.
Go to events, just play, and I think this is a really big step for them.
And talking about skill, I mean, we saw it even on Dust 2, where they weren't at their best. We saw Tommy and what he can do.
Yeah.
That was actually organized. Him with the pistol on that short, getting a double kill, basically on an eco, set it up with a nice flash from Meds.
Exactly.
I mean, those like moments of brilliance we saw from Singapore, splash kill on Mirage with an AWP clutching that one.
Yeah.
I mean, if they can get consistent, and especially in those rounds where they have the lead, I think they could easily take at least a map in a match like this.
Yeah, and taking a map in a best of 3 against Denmark in a quarterfinal of this tournament is huge for Singapore, because let's face it, Singapore's not one of these big CS nations. We have like Denmark, Sweden and France who have such a deep talent pool. Singapore's a lesser scene, so them going and having a result like this is actually pretty big.
Yeah, it is.
I guess there's nothing major for the boys from Denmark to worry about, but they did struggle to get it across the line at the end, going into tomorrow. Do they need to think about that and maybe adjust something?
Well, I think they're going to, of course, be a little bit afraid that everything went like so far down the line on the second map. But I think also they can take a good amount of good stuff away from this game, to be honest. Like, they had a great Dust 2.
Yeah, if I'm Denmark, I would actually reconsider picking Mirage.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, on the T side, yeah, they had a good showing. They won 8 rounds on the T side, and that's great. But considering that Singapore left mid for Denmark every single time, winning only 8 rounds with free mid control, I don't think that's enough. And against a team like Sweden or Argentina, I mean, I would go past that Mirage, honestly.
Yeah, I think this Mirage pick is only for Singapore. They're not going to get it against Sweden.
Yeah, and but the thing is, like, they can learn a lot from like the scoreline like this. It was 14 rounds in the favor of their opponents, so they can see what the mistakes they made and not make them tomorrow if they pick the map. So actually, this is a really good thing for them. If they just won out like 16-4, 16-5, maybe not make that many mistakes, they wouldn't have figured out what they were doing wrong. So tomorrow, maybe pick Mirage, go up against either Argentina or Sweden, and know what you're not supposed to do. Like, have in your head what you did the previous day wrong, and just clean up those mistakes, win out.
When it comes so close to the wire like it just did, maybe this is a hard question, but is there an obvious man of the match?
For me, there is. Honestly, I think Cadian stepped up massively.
Yeah.
Looking at day one and looking at the playoffs today, I think it's 2 different players, honestly. And he had a really good showing on Dust 2. He was really aggressive. Even though he's an AWPer, he was getting in with a pistol, getting the kill. If his team needs that, he's going to do that. His AWP was on point on both maps. I say Cadian takes this one.
Yeah, I agree, and also with the fact that he is AWP and in-game leader, as it says. We started out with Snappy on the calls and the tactics, but it has switched over to Cadian, so he's both doing the AWP and the in-game leading. And if you could do both of these and still rack up a bunch of frags, you're just a very big contender for the MVP.
And the thing is, yeah, he might be the man of the match for me, but for you guys. But I think Glaive really did step up in some situations.
Glaive is definitely second in my book as well.
Yeah, he's the guy right there behind Cadian. Like right there.
Yeah.
He had some crucial rounds, he had some crucial kills, and Voldy as well. Like, you just can't pick one guy out of that team. They're all playing exquisitely.
The reason I wanted to say Cadian, and I said it, is it was 16-14 on Mirage. It basically comes down to one round. And one round that comes to mind is the one round where Denmark is on an eco and Cadian has a scout.
Yes.
He gets the 3 kills, they defuse the bomb, they win it. The round they shouldn't have won, he made it possible, and essentially that was one of the crucial rounds of the whole Mirage. Well played for him and the whole team.
Yeah.
16-14, the final score as Denmark took on Singapore. Only one match left to go. So let's find out what that has done to our bracket going into tomorrow. The games that are still to come. We're going to bring them up on screen right now to see what you've got to look forward to on day number 4. These are the matches.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting. We have, as you said, one game remaining, and it's going to be, of course, Argentina versus Sweden coming up next. Turkey versus France, the first semi-final. Denmark. The players are actually so excited about being here, almost getting ready to invade the desk. But they are going to go up against Argentina or Sweden. So this is going to be a crazy bunch of semi-finals.
Yeah, so far, maybe besides just the France game, especially considering the result on the second map, 16-0, I think pretty much the results we could have expected going into today's games. But honestly, I gotta say, I'm rooting for an upset in the last one.
Really?
Yeah.
I knew you were gonna say that. I can't.
There's a reason why I'm wearing this shirt.
Yeah, I can't pretend like that's a big surprise for me. I think both you and Rima are the guys that are really rooting for Argentina.
Yeah, I'm rooting for them as well. I have to root against Sweden, of course, because I'm Danish. So.
Okay. So that goes into your favor. But I mean, I like the guys so much.
Yeah.
Like, interviewing them was such a pleasure. A really nice bunch of guys. But like against Sweden.
Who knows?
We'll see. Yeah.
One game left to go today as the players battle it out for a share of $100,000 US. Sweden take on Argentina next. Don't go anywhere.